Heyo, it's real, people. I just got full forgiveness on my Paycheck Protection loan. Actually, two separate loans, full forgiveness. I am extremely excited about this. I'm happy to be able to report this. This program is real. The money has been 100% forgiven. As long as you follow the guidelines, as long as you're a legitimate business, let's get those fraudsters out of there. Fraudsters, do not watch this video. This has nothing to do with you. This is for legitimate businesses who want forgiveness on their PPP loans. Maybe you're a little bit concerned, am I actually going to be forgiven? Let me tell you, as long as you follow the guidelines, as long as you spend it on the right things, which for most people, that's simply paying yourself. If you don't have employees, you just pay yourself. You're good to go. So for most people, you're a legitimate business, you spend it on the right things, you really don't have much to worry about. However, it's still nice to get that official confirmation that yes, indeed, yes sirree, you received full forgiveness. You don't have to worry about this. Not to mention the fact that you don't have to pay taxes on the PPP loan disbursement because it's not taxable income. Plus, if you're a business owner with payroll, or any other eligible expense, you can write off the expenses against your taxes still. So if you receive something like, let's just, for sake of example, let's say $10,000. It's not taxable income, so it's more like receiving about $13,000. And then if you're able to spend that on an expense that you can write off, this isn't for most people who just pay themselves. This is more for like business owners with employees and payroll, but you're able to write off that expense. So that $13,000 effective, 10,000 to 13, that $13,000 is now worth something like 17,000 because of all the tax benefits. So this is amazing. It's great to receive this final confirmation. I didn't want to make this video until I received confirmation on both my PPP loans. So let's talk about my businesses a little bit, the process that I took, and the forgiveness application itself. So the forgiveness that I received here was for round 1 of PPP. Now, I wanted to say this because this highlights how much time you have to worry about forgiveness. Because I received my first draw PPP loans in May of 2020, like 12 months ago. You have that long to receive forgiveness. Because how it works is you have 10 months after your covered period. So if you have an 8-week covered period, you have about a year. If you go the full 24-week covered period, you have way more than a year to apply for forgiveness and get that full forgivable amount as long as you spend it on the correct thing. So these are both first draw loans that I received forgiveness on. As far as the second draw PPP loans go, I am not worried about forgiveness as of right now. Most lenders don't even allow you to apply for forgiveness yet, and that's really no cause for concern because lenders are still working on just approving as many people as possible, and then they'll worry about sending out those forgiveness applications, once that time is due, months down the road. I mean, most people, their cover period isn't even over with yet, so there's really like nothing even to think about forgiveness-wise. But I know a lot of people are stressed out about this, so I just know me saying like, hey, I actually received forgiveness, that's gonna make you feel a little bit better that if you spend this in the right way, you're gonna be good too. Also, I'm not the only one who has received forgiveness because I just happen to know all these granular details about this program, because about $270 billion or so have already been forgiven under this program. So a solid chunk of all the funds dispersed have already been forgiven, and there's a ton of time left. So I have 2 businesses that receive PPP loans for the payroll of those businesses. The first one is a moving company. I have a moving and storage business in Arizona. We have between 15 and 20 employees at any given time of the year, and we received a PPP loan based on the payroll for those employees. Unfortunately, I didn't have any payroll for myself, so I wasn't able to get a portion of that for my own personal payroll, but that's fine because business owners still benefit from this program, and I ended up just spending it 100% on payroll. But the moving company was hit very hard last year with COVID. We had one quarter that was down about 40%. And there was a few months where I was like, okay, if I didn't have any debt on this business, we would probably close. Like our business probably would have closed if I hadn't have just been like so worried about paying off the business debt as soon as possible. I don't know how I would have kept things afloat, but we got that PPP loan, which helped tremendously. And things finally started picking up to now where we're at. We are hitting some record months, like 6 record months in a row at this point. The moving company is extremely exciting. I actually have a course that covers how to start and run a moving company from literally your first job until your first $1 million in sales. I'll have that link down in the description for those who are interested. My second business is a call center that basically services my moving company and a few other moving companies. We book jobs for other moving companies, and we received a PPP loan for that as well. And that was because our sales again were down 40 to 50% for about a quarter for that business as well, and that helped tremendously. And both of these have been forgiven. The call center loan was through Chase. The other one was through a small local bank called Arizona Bank. I went through both of these before I even knew what Womply was. I used Womply for my second draw on both of these loans. Received funding, and I'll report once I receive forgiveness as well for those months down the road when I'm actually worrying about round 2 forgiveness. So how the process worked. It's a little bit different for each. For Chase, it was very easy. It was an online portal. This is how most lenders are going to be for the round 2 funding, or if you receive funding at all anytime in 2021, because now the systems and processes are more worked out. They're a lot better. So Chase, it was an online portal. The forgiveness application was basically built into the portal. Oh, let me show here on the screen. I have my authorized request for forgiveness. You can see PPP loan amount. This was $18,000. Forgiveness requested, $18,695. Forgiveness authorized, $18,695. So we'd love to see that. This was the smaller loan for the call center through Chase. Like I said, it was an online portal, basically just certified that I spent this 100% on payroll, because that's what we did do. We just spent it on payroll. No documentation required. It auto-filled everything needed for as far as like the PPP loan number and the various information, personal information, business information that was needed on that loan. Auto-filled it all, certified, good to go. And I received this forgiveness authorization about a week after submitting that, which was extremely exciting. Now, at the same time, I applied for forgiveness with my other business. The other one was a larger loan. The other one was just over $30,000. I applied for forgiveness the same day as Chase. However, this was a small local bank. They did not have like a nice fine-tuned portal. It was a little bit harder to use. And this really was the reason why I went with Womply on the second round, because I just ran into so many just various issues on the first round that I didn't want to deal with again. But anyways, the portal wasn't as user-friendly. Had to manually fill out the forgiveness application, which again, for most lenders is going to be electronic or a portal, but got it figured out. Had to, input a lot of stuff manually, sent in the request. All I had to do was again certify. For this loan though, I did the covered period a little bit longer. So on the forgiveness application itself, it allows you to choose how long you want your covered period to be. The default is kind of 8 weeks. I decided to go 15 weeks for this business, because I wanted to just attribute the whole loan to payroll. How the payroll worked for this business, it wouldn't have been completely allocated in 8 weeks. So I just elected for a longer covered period. That way payroll would just go 100% to the loan. It just makes things simpler if you can say this was 100% spent on payroll, which it was if you just elect the longer covered period, at least in my case, because sales were down for a period, so payroll was down for a period. Not so much that it affected forgiveness, but I just needed to extend that covered period a little bit longer. And here's the email for that. That I don't have like a nice fancy email for the confirmation here, but it just says your forgiveness app is fully approved. You're all set. We're just finishing up closing on our end. Bada bing, bada boom, good to go. Forgiven. Another $30,000 for that business, which was extremely exciting. Now, things are going to be a little bit different than my experience if you don't have employees, which I know most people don't. It's going to be more simple, because really all you have to do is worry about paying yourself, which I still receive messages on this. Paying yourself, all that means is money is in your personal bank account. So really all you need to do is you receive those funds, likely to a business bank account, then you simply transfer those funds to your personal bank account and you have paid yourself. It's really that easy. Now you can even have it deposited right to your personal bank account, the PPP loan, and then in that case, you basically don't have to do anything. It's just considered paying yourself. And again, just to go over the actual forgiveness application itself, let me pull this up here. This is a forgiveness application. Like I said, in most cases, you're just going to fill this out electronically. There'll be some kind of portal that just auto-fills this stuff for you, and you'll just sign it electronically. You'll be good to go, certify that you paid yourself. But you can see the information is very, very streamlined. This is for loans of $150,000 or less, which is most people. If you're a solo operator, you're going to use this form or some variation of an electronic version of this form. It's just your business name, your business address, EIN, so security number, phone number, email address, SBA PPP loan number, that's the 10-digit number, lender PPP loan number, PPP loan amount, the disbursement date, that's the date that you actually received funding, employees at the time of the loan application. If you don't have employees, that's just one, that's you. If you have employees, it's however many employees you have. Employees at the time of forgiveness, if it's one, it's just you unless you fired yourself, which I wouldn't recommend firing yourself for PPP forgiveness cases. Covered period. Again, for most people, you're just going to do that 8-week covered period. If you received a loan larger than about $15,000, you may want to elect a little bit longer of a covered period just with how the payments work out and the $100,000 maximum amount. So how that works is you can only receive the annualized amount of $100,000. This means if your PPP loan was over about $15,000, you may want to elect a slightly longer covered period than 8 weeks. I can't say specifics because I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not an accountant, but that's just something to consider. It's not going to be an issue that, denies you forgiveness, but it's just something to consider on that end. Now you just need to certify here that the borrower together with affiliates didn't receive more than $2 million. Amount of loan spent on payroll costs. If you don't have employees, that's the total PPP loan. If you have employees and you spent it totally on payroll costs, then you put that in there, or whatever that amount may be, you put that in there. Requested loan forgiveness amount, that's the whole amount if you're requesting the whole amount. If you think you should be forgiven on the whole amount, then you certify a couple boxes here. Signature, print your name, sign it, date it, you are good to go. That is the forgiveness application. So I just wanted to do this video to highlight that this is real, forgiveness is real. It's such an exciting program. It literally has helped so many businesses. I know it helped my business. It helped me keep people on payroll during the hardest year of business I've ever had. Seriously, the hardest year of business I've ever had. I'm very grateful for this program, and I just want to keep putting out that good information and helping as many people. As long as there's something to talk about here, I will be talking about that. So make sure you subscribe, share this video with anyone who may be apprehensive about receiving forgiveness on this application so they know it's real as well. And I would just like to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.